The crowd cheered as the Apache woman stood beneath the gallows, moments away from execution. The sheriff tightened the rope, and no one dared question the sentence. Then, out of nowhere, a lone cowboy stepped forward and shouted, "Stop! She's innocent!" Against all odds, he cut her free and helped her escape. But just when he thought the danger had passed, a cloud of dust appeared on the horizon. Within minutes, hundreds of Apache warriors rode toward the town. What happened next would change the cowboy's life forever. The town of Silver Creek had never seen a crowd this large. People filled the dusty square from one end to the other. Ranchers stood beside merchants. Families gathered near the wooden storefronts. Even children climbed onto barrels and wagon wheels to get a better view. At the center of the square stood a tall gallows. Beneath it was an Apache woman named Tala. Her hands were tied in front of her, and a rope hung loosely around her neck. She stood quietly despite the angry voices surrounding her. Most of the townspeople believed she was guilty. A week earlier, several ranches had reported stolen horses. Soon afterward, rumors spread that Apache riders had been seen near the area. When Tala was found traveling close to one of the ranches, suspicion fell on her immediately. Few people asked questions. Fewer still wanted answers. The town had already decided what to believe. Sheriff Dawson stepped onto the platform and looked out over the crowd. "We are here today to carry out the sentence passed by the court," he announced. A murmur of approval swept through the square. Tala lowered her eyes. She knew no one would listen if she tried to explain. The evidence against her was weak, but fear often spoke louder than reason. As the sheriff prepared to continue, a voice suddenly broke through the noise. "Wait!" Heads turned toward the edge of the crowd. A tall cowboy pushed his way forward. His name was Ethan Cole. Unlike many others in town, Ethan had attended the hearing. He had listened carefully to every witness and every accusation. Something about the case had never felt right to him. "There isn't enough proof," Ethan said firmly. The crowd reacted at once. Some shouted for him to leave. Others demanded that the execution continue. Sheriff Dawson frowned. "The decision has already been made." "Then it was the wrong decision," Ethan replied. The square fell silent. No one could remember the last time someone had openly challenged the town like this. Ethan looked toward Tala. For a brief moment, their eyes met. Then he turned back to the crowd. What happened next would change both of their lives forever. For several moments, the town square remained silent. Ethan Cole stood on the platform beside Tala while hundreds of eyes watched them. The sheriff's face hardened with frustration. "Step away from the prisoner," Sheriff Dawson ordered. Ethan did not move. "There is no proof she stole those horses," he said. "You are about to take an innocent life." The crowd erupted into angry shouting. Some demanded that Ethan be arrested. Others accused him of helping an outlaw. A few reached for their rifles. Tala remained still, surprised that anyone was willing to risk so much for her. The sheriff took a step forward. "You are leaving me no choice." Ethan knew he had only seconds to act. In one quick motion, he pulled a knife from his belt and cut the rope hanging from the gallows. Before anyone could react, he grabbed Tala's arm and guided her down from the platform. The crowd gasped. Deputies rushed forward. Ethan and Tala pushed through the confusion and ran toward a pair of horses tied near the edge of town. They mounted quickly and rode away as shouts echoed behind them. Several riders attempted to follow, but Ethan knew the surrounding hills far better than most of the townspeople. By sunset, they had reached a narrow canyon hidden among rocky cliffs. Only then did they stop. For a long time neither of them spoke. Finally, Tala broke the silence. "I do not understand why you helped me." Ethan sat beside the small campfire he had built. "Because what happened back there was wrong." Tala looked into the flames. Then she revealed the truth. A wealthy ranch owner named Victor Hale had been organizing the horse thefts himself. When she discovered what he was doing, he arranged for her arrest before she could expose him. Ethan listened carefully. The story explained far more than the accusations ever had. But neither of them realized that another danger was already on its way. Far beyond the mountains, Apache scouts were searching for Tala. And they were not alone. For 2 days, Ethan and Tala traveled through the mountains, staying away from main roads and avoiding anyone who might recognize them. During the journey, Tala told him more about her life. She was the daughter of Chief Nantan, the leader of a large Apache community that lived beyond the northern ridges. Months earlier, she had been trying to improve relations between her people and the settlers. She believed peace was possible if both sides learned to trust one another. Instead, her efforts had ended with a rope around her neck. As they sat beside a campfire one evening, Tala grew unusually quiet. "What is it?" Ethan asked. "My father," she replied. Ethan looked at her curiously. "What about him?" "He does not know I am alive." The words immediately caught Ethan's attention. Tala explained that no message had reached her people since her arrest. If news of the planned execution reached Chief Nantan before the truth did, he would almost certainly believe that his daughter had been killed. Ethan felt a knot form in his stomach. A grieving father could do desperate things, especially a leader responsible for protecting his people. The following morning, they continued their journey. As they crossed a high ridge, Tala suddenly stopped her horse and looked toward the distant plains. A thin cloud of dust stretched across the horizon. Scouts. Several Apache riders appeared moments later. The men recognized Tala immediately and rushed toward her. Relief spread across their faces. One of the scouts quickly shared alarming news. Chief Nantan had already begun moving toward Silver Creek with hundreds of warriors. The chief believed his daughter had been executed. Ethan's heart sank. Meanwhile, fear was spreading through Silver Creek. Reports of large groups of Apache riders had reached town. Families hurried indoors while ranchers gathered weapons. Rumors spread faster than facts. Many believed an attack was coming. Victor Hale took advantage of the panic. Standing in the town square, he urged people to prepare for war, carefully hiding his own role in the crisis. As evening approached, dark lines of riders appeared on the distant hills outside town. Hundreds of Apache warriors had arrived. The town held its breath. One misunderstanding had nearly cost Tala her life. Now it threatened the lives of everyone in Silver Creek. And unless Ethan and Tala could reach the town in time, fear might soon turn into bloodshed. The standoff outside Silver Creek had lasted for hours. On one side stood the Apache warriors, silent and unmoving. On the other stood the townspeople, armed and nervous, waiting for the first sign of conflict. The air was heavy with fear. Chief Nantan rode forward alone. His eyes were fixed on the town, searching for his daughter. "If she is dead," he called out, "then there will be no peace here." Sheriff Dawson raised his hand, trying to keep order, but no one seemed willing to listen. Then a voice broke through the tension. "Father!" Tala stepped forward from behind the crowd. For a moment, everything stopped. Chief Nantan dismounted slowly and walked toward her. When he reached her, he held her tightly, relief clear on his face. The warriors behind him lowered their weapons slightly, sensing she was alive. Ethan stood nearby, watching quietly. Tala then spoke the truth. She explained how Victor Hale had set her up and used fear to protect his own crimes. Ethan confirmed what he had discovered in the hills. The sheriff ordered Victor to be brought forward. Under pressure, Victor's own men revealed everything. The truth spread quickly through both groups. The tension in the valley slowly began to break. The morning after the confrontation, Silver Creek stood frozen in fear. Word had spread that Apache warriors were approaching the town. Armed men gathered near the gates while families stayed inside their homes. No one knew what would happen next. Sheriff Dawson tried to keep order, but tension filled every corner of the town. Then dust rose on the horizon. A large group of riders appeared. Dozens became hundreds. The Apache warriors had arrived. At their front rode Chief Nantan. His expression was cold and steady as he approached the town. Behind him, the entire force stopped just outside rifle range. Silence fell over Silver Creek. Ethan, Cole, and Tala arrived moments later from the canyon road. Exhausted, they rode straight toward the crowd. Tala dismounted first. "Father," she called out. The chief stepped forward. For a moment, everything stopped. Then Tala explained the truth. She spoke of Victor Hale, the stolen horses, and the false accusation that nearly cost her life. Ethan supported her words with what he had seen. Slowly, the truth became clear to everyone present. Chief Nantan turned his gaze toward the town. "We came for justice," he said. "Not war." Victor Hale was arrested soon after. As he was taken away, the tension finally broke. No battle came that day. Only understanding. And a peace that began with one choice to stand against injustice. As Ethan and Tala disappeared into the hills, the fate of Silver Creek still hung in uncertainty. What began as a public execution turned into a journey that exposed hidden truths, broken trust, and a danger far greater than anyone in the town had expected. Tala's story was not just about survival. It was about injustice, courage, and the cost of rushing to judgment. And Ethan's choice to stand against an entire town proved that even a single voice can change the direction of fate. But the real story is far from over. With warriors approaching and truth still unfolding, Silver Creek stands at the edge of a moment that could bring either peace or destruction. If this story kept you engaged, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful Western tales filled with courage, mystery, and unexpected twists. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter. And tell us in the comments, would you have stepped forward like Ethan, or stayed silent with the crowd?